The world feels heavy right now. It seems like the conflicts, the injustice, and just the loss that keeps coming to our lives. You think about what happened on Wednesday, September 10th, then the very next day was a day that America has been grieving for 24 years, and that is September 11th. So it feels like a trauma and then piled on top of another trauma. And I do believe, from my own perspective, that there are powers that be that do not want the rise in humanity and the Great Awakening that's happening, that are doing this purposefully. And that is my belief. It feels like the ground that's beneath us, the things that we thought were solid, these are starting to shake and to tremble and crack open. Because everywhere we look, we see pain, we see grief, and we feel fear, and we see fear. So then I wrote, even when everything shakes, I feel like if you have been on a personal journey of spiritual awakening and spiritual growth and grounding into who you know you truly are, then we know that there's a deeper place to land, like a foundation. We can call this our higher self, our soul, or who we truly are, our true center, our divine spark of pure God and pure consciousness. We can ground ourselves in that, and we can ground ourselves there immediately. So you can call that whatever you like. But this is the piece of us that knows and remembers peace, and we can immediately bring ourselves back to peace. When you're able to ground, we're able to see the light where before there's a shadow. The shadow comes, and then you can immediately brush or step aside, step out of where the shadow might be falling, and the light comes in immediately. And that is the place where we want to be. So I have this little tiny exercise that I do when sometimes the world just feels like too much. So I close my eyes and I breathe, and I just take one deep breath at a time. And I just totally settle myself. And this is a very, very quick exercise that anyone can do. And then we say out loud, I am not broken, I am still here. And that centers me, and that brings me back to what I consider more base reality, prime reality than the other. I want to be in prime reality, and I can go there anytime I want. And then I think we need to reach for something that actually grounds us. And what I wrote here is a walk, preferably outside, music, a friend, or just simply take yourself away and have a quiet moment. And then disconnect. You can watch ad nauseum everyone talking about it. And that's easy to do. And it's easy to get caught in that. It is literally like watching a train wreck. We want to hear everyone's commentary about it. Here's the truth for me. I think we're being tested. Here's the kicker. I don't think we're being tested to see how much we can endure. I think we are being tested to remind us how deeply we can ground ourselves. How quickly can we ground ourselves? After all the stuff that's been happening, not just now, 2025, this has been happening way before 2025 or 2020, but 2025 is the middle of this decade where I believe that there is a massive shift happening. It, of course, doesn't happen overnight, but 2025 is a pivotal year. And this is not giving us a test to see how much more can we endure. This is giving us a test to see how quickly can we ground, how quickly can we get back to center and root ourselves. That is the test. That's the test. So every time we choose to be steady ourselves, show up with compassion and empathy, and then be able to hold the space for things like grief and hope and all of the things. Be able to hold that space. What happens is when every time we do that, we are grounding ourselves. We are choosing to ground. Okay, and this basically gives us a much stronger foundation than fear. Fear gives us no foundation. Fear puts us out like a kite in the wind. It is just blowing in the wind, and fear, there is no grounding in fear. It is quite the opposite. When you can bring yourself back and center, then you are grounded, and you can flip the energy back to wherever you want it to be. And this is a beautiful thing about this spiritual awakening in the times that we're in right now. And I believe that this is another red pill moment.